I am going to turn this meeting over to Mr. Ray Martin. He's going to take a couple of seconds here to get his computer set up, so just bear with us a minute.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for inviting me. I was privileged to be here with you a couple of months back, maybe 3 months back, with Senator Bob Hall and talking about the grid and so forth. That guy is on fire, and he's one of those kind of people that we need in Austin. I mean, I can't say enough about him. I've been with him ever since he started his campaign for Senate, and there's so few down there that actually stand for us. He's one of them. So remember Bob Hall.
Yes.
And everything. I'm going to just start with this. Of course, I'm Ray Myers. I work for the Kaufman County Tea Party. I'm the chair of that, and have been working as a political activist, I guess, since 1970. I don't know. But anyway, it's just been part of my DNA. But thank you so much again for inviting me. And I want to say this. God's given us one more chance, I think.
Amen.
I really feel like that's where we are right now. And it's going to take every one of us. It's no time, I was telling the gentleman back here a few minutes ago, it's no time to let our guard down.
No.
It's not time for that. It's time to turn on the heat. It is really time to turn on the heat. We have got to we've got a tremendous job to put this country back together. And Donald Trump can't do it by himself. It takes us. And I always say this when we're out talking to people and so forth and trying to get people off their butt to go do the job. Everybody needs, just like this, everybody needs to take care of their piece of Texas. You take care of your piece of Texas. You take care of San Angelo. You take care of this. And if you do it right, then we've got that piece right. And then we got to move to my part of the country, all around the country, and then every state's got to take care of themselves. So we all got to work together to get this, to right the ship. Now, I was fortunate enough to be asked to go to be the captain for Donald Trump for the state of Wisconsin. And we won. That was quite a feat. It was quite fun. But I wanted to just share one sample of one of the things that we did in Wisconsin to show us while we were there that we had a chance. That we had a chance, that we really could do something in Wisconsin, and Wisconsin we wasn't just gonna have a blue bulldozer just chase us out of that part of the world, because Hillary thought she had that blue wall up there with Wisconsin and Ohio and Pennsylvania and all that. But if we can we go to that, or you want to? Is it on my clicker? Okay.
It's turned on.
All right. Now, what we did, we wanted to take a sample. So what we did, we went to the Oshkosh Defense Plant in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And we decided, because the reason we went to the Oshkosh Defense Plant is because it was 100% union. Everybody that worked there is union, okay? And we know the word we got in there were they're Democrats. So we wanted to pick out a good, solid Democrat area to go to, and a place to go to where the whole system was Democrat as far as the union and all the employees. So we knew that the Oshkosh Defense Plant was Democrat. So we decided to go there at shift change, 2:30 in the afternoon. 400 people coming out of that plant at 2:30 in the afternoon. And we stood there with our signs and with our American flag. Our team did from Texas. 16 of us went up there, and we were there. And so this is just kind of a sample of what we did. We wanted to know if we had a chance. So we asked the people when they was coming out. We were sitting here with a chant. The first chant we was using was "Lock her up." We got their attention. Lock her up. And then we started thumbs up for Trump. So they started sticking their thumbs out their cars for Trump and honking their horns and blinking their lights. It was amazing. So just take a look at this. If I can get it going, just hit the button here. This one.
Yeah, it should be.
See if it did. No. Here we go. people coming out. Can we turn the volume up a little bit? Anyway, that was a lot of fun. And we knew by the response of those union workers coming out that Trump had a chance. You know, now, let me tell you one other thing about this before I get into my program. We found out from the Trump campaign that Hillary Clinton had an 8-point firewall of voter fraud in the battleground states. That's Wisconsin, that's Pennsylvania, all of it. She had an 8-point, this was what was behind the scenes. It wasn't that the media's not telling you or anybody else is telling you. There was voter fraud going on everywhere, okay? And she had an 8-point firewall. And the news media knew it. And then when you saw all the poll numbers before the election, you know, a week before, 2 days before, 10 days before, a month before, Trump would always be 2 points behind. The media was factoring in that 8 points. They were factoring in the 8 points. So what Donald Trump had to do, and his team knew this, he had to win 10 points in all the battleground states, in a majority of over 10 points to win. And by golly, he did it. He did it. So that was one of the obstacles that we had to overcome. Because I was in Ohio when Romney was running, and we saw the same thing, exactly the same thing as far as voter fraud. People coming out after they had voted saying, I voted for Romney, and Obama came up. You know, they can manipulate those machines in a matter of minutes. Don't you think they can? The electronic voting is a big, big problem, and we're going to work this time in the legislative session to get that solved. Okay? All right, let's get into the border invasion. Now we had, before I went to Iowa for Ted Cruz, I was on the Ted Cruz campaign and worked up there with him. And my goodness, you know, when he got beat, common sense told me we got to get on the Trump train because we cannot have Hillary. But when I do cartoons, so this was a cartoon that we did. All three of us were delegates to the National Convention. That's Myers and Doc Collins and Jimmy Weaver down here. So we put Trump on this. Doc Collins is a veterinarian down in Edom, Texas. So we thought we'd have some truth ceremony. But anyway, so have you made a deal with Clintons? No. Who would you pick for the Supreme Court? He's come out. I really think he's going to do it right. I really do. Will you repeal Obamacare? We know about that. Will you build a wall? Will you make America great again? We hope all that's going to happen, and I really believe that he's going to do that, okay? Next slide. Well, I can do it right here. What did I do? I hit the wrong button. There we go. Texas Catch and Release Program. We all remember Rick Perry, don't we?
Let me just advance it for you. Just you hit the wrong button and it just causes a problem. I'll just advance it for you.
Okay. Rick Perry, he's in the boat with Speaker Strauss. He says, Speaker Strauss, he says, Rick, that's an ISIS fish. We got to throw it back. Well, that's kind of what they're doing. They're releasing many people on the border that we really don't know who they are. Okay? All the individuals that's coming across this border and coming into Texas and coming into the United States and in California, everywhere, we don't know who they are. And if you ask your congressman or if you ask anybody, who are these people, they can't tell you. They can't say, oh, these are good people. They may try to tell you that, but do they really know? No, they don't. Next slide. Why do we need border enforcement? This is why we need border security. We need border enforcement. There's a clear and present danger of a pandemic. Remember the Ebola? We don't know, and I'll show you a video in a minute that'll bear that out. We don't know whether they got disease or not. Okay? Secure the border is critical for the safety of our citizens. Stop the plan to grant amnesty. There's people not in Mexico, but on further south, down into Central America, down into South America, where the Obama people down there are saying, come on, I've verified this. I have verified this with people in McAllen and Brownville, and other people have told me there are surrogates down there because the Hispanics and some of the people that's coming in from South America tell them. But there's a thing called OTMs. The majority of the people coming across the border now are OTMs, other than Mexico.
Yes.
It's not just Mexico. They're coming in from all over the world, and they're coming into our border, and we don't know who they are and what they want here, okay? I've got a good idea. Okay, cooler weather in the wintertime, in the fall, the spring, that's when they really start the surge and moving this away. The threat of ISIS, drug cartels, gangs coming by the thousands. For every one we catch, how many gets away? 99% of those that come across the border they're not sending them back. They're not. Next slide. Now, this is one of those things that if you don't remember anything else tonight, please remember this. Think about this. Zach Taylor, definition. Zach Taylor is the chair of the Border Patrol agents in Arizona. He's over all the retired Border Patrol agents in Arizona. Okay? He's got a definition of politics. Listen to this. The art of manipulating the masses to achieve a goal through the use of an emotional issue. And what's the emotional issue that they use 90% of the time? It's all about the kids. BS. No, it's not. This is what they use. Next slide. We'll show you what. Know this guy on my right over here? John McCain? He's using this little dead baby to promote his issue, his agenda. Now, how low is that? But this is what they do in politics. Those people that have no scruples at all, no standards, no values, they use emotional issues all the time. This rises not only from there, it goes to your school board, the principals, and it goes to everybody on up, city council, county commissioners, everybody. The use of an emotional issue. We saw that back at the local level with a big problem with the red light cameras in the last few days. Oh, it's all about the kids. No, it's not. Somebody's getting money for that kind of stuff. Okay? Next slide. They're coming. October was when they really started the big surge, and they started coming in October, and of course 800,000 illegals were on the trail back then in Central America, all headed this way. 800,000 in 2014. Can you imagine how many million we've had and hundreds of thousands since? Next slide. Now, how many of you have ever heard of the Cloud Pivots program? 1, 2, 3. Everybody in this room needs to know what the Cloud Pivots program is. By the way, let me this right here gets to the heart of the Cloud Pivots program. America is a healthy body. It's like a healthy body. Its resistance is threefold: their patriotism, their morality, and their spiritual life. If we can undermine these three areas, America will collapse from within. Joseph Stalin, okay? Bill Ayers, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, all know this. Cloud Pivens, right here, this plan calls for the destruction of capitalism by the swelling of the welfare rolls to the point of collapsing our economy. What do they do with all these illegals coming in here from everywhere? All these refugees and everything. And what do? They get right straight on their Social Security system. They get money for everything, their kids, their schools, their health, everything. And where does that money come from? Their method of dispersing the illegals all over the country is called Southwest Keys. That's the old Acorn. They just changed their name. They changed their name. This is totally operated by a government organization and fully funded by your legislature, formerly the old Acorn. Remember Southwest Keys and remember Cloud Pivens. That definition. The plan calls for the destruction of capitalism in America by swelling the welfare rolls. And that's what they're doing, okay? Next slide. Now, Southwest Keys. See those kids in that plan right there? Senator Bob Hall and I were going east on Interstate 20 about 2 years ago. And we ran into 5 vans in a row. And I just saw the day or two before about all these kids from South America, from everywhere, being transported all over the United States, and they were coming to Texas. Well, Bob was up front of me. He was in another car with his wife, and I called him and I said, "Do you think these are these kids that's in these vans? Because look at these kids, Bob." I said, "If you can get out, if they're stopped somewhere, get out and take pictures of these vans." I got behind this van and took the picture of the license plate. I don't have that with me, but took a picture of the license plate. We called in the license plate while we were en route. And the guy called me back after he had looked and run the license plate. It took about 5 minutes. He called me back. The license plate was issued to Southwest Keys, Jupiter, Florida. All those kids right there were illegals and being transported. Next slide. Now, see where they're coming from down at the tip of Texas? And look where they're going. Buses filled with illegals all over. Last week, about 10 days ago, I went to Athens, Texas. I got a call that there was these buses, these transport buses that were being maintenance in Athens, Texas. I said, "What are you talking about?" A church there has those white buses, and they have a maintenance barn, and a church in Athens is maintenance those buses, and we're investigating that right now. You've heard of the Baptist, the Southern Baptists, there and how they do the Catholic charities and so forth. A lot of the churches are right in there with these illegals in supporting this. We have to investigate these things. Another thing is that I'm telling you is, folks, we don't know who those people are. Nobody's vetted them. That's why Donald Trump says we're going to have the strongest vetting system around. We've got to know who's coming into our country. Next slide. Now, back to this point. This one right here, I want y'all to look at this. This is a video of people, of illegals getting off of a bus in Rockwall, Texas. Okay? Yeah. See the bus? Back there, they just got off that bus. They're walking in. They have brand new $100 bills, and they're going into the TA truck stop in Rockwall buying their Cheetos with American $100 bills. Where'd they get that money? Think about that.
Where'd y'all come from? Y'all speak English? No? Where y'all come from? Donde la casa? Donde la casa?
The guy that's in doing that interview is a plumber in Rockwall.
Going to Chicago?
He got to watching all these buses coming in. He went over to try to investigate, see what was going on.
Chicago? Where y'all headed?
This is the bus driver.
You're the bus driver?
Yeah.
Where'd y'all come from?
I got from Chicago.
Y'all are headed to Chicago?
Yeah.
Where'd they all come from? Mexico?
Yeah, all the cars that were the passengers. It's like I got from Jesus. Not from Chicago, I'm from Mexico.
Yeah, there's like 4 every day that come here from Mexico going to Chicago.
Yeah. I went to Chicago, that's a day.
2 trips every day. Stop here every time.
DA truck stops in on this.
So who's paying for the trips?
Who's paying?
Yeah,
Yeah, Papa.
but you don't know who the contract's with, not
The
the
company.
government, or?
They have a company, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a big company, but many people.
And they're all doing the same route, same.
We found out, we got a good idea what they're doing when they go to Chicago.
They all going
We
to
found
live there, or they moving, or? Right. Just wondering how many are, so the same people, you take them back?
No, we don't take them back.
They're going and they're staying in Chicago? Yeah. Good. All right.
Okay. Now watch this. This is another bus coming in. This is another one. I want you to watch this. This is not any talking in this, but just watch. The point I was making about who's coming. Watch this. The guy coming right back behind the cowboy here. I want you to look. This guy's wearing a medical mask. Does he have TB? I don't know. We found several getting off the bus with medical masks on. Who vetted those people? No. These kids are going to school with yours.
Yep.
Next slide. Now, if Donald Trump hadn't read this, you need to let every one of you need to let your state representative, your senator, your congressman, your senators, everybody else know this. This right here, Mr. Mayor, here's the law. This is the federal law, right here. Any United States citizen that knowingly assists an illegal alien, providing them with employment, food, water, shelter, or transport, has committed a felony. City, state, county officials that allow shelter, transport, or so-called sanctuary cities are subject to arrest, as are the law enforcement agencies who choose not to enforce this law. Police officers who ignore officials who violate Section 8 U.S.C. 1324 are committing a Section 274 federal felony. Furthermore, according to the Federal Immigration and National Act of 1952, if you live in a city, county, or state that refuses to enforce the law for whatever reason, the officials making the rules are financially liable for any crime committed within their jurisdiction by an illegal alien. That's the law. The Obama administration are committed to not enforce two sections of laws in this during his administration. The first one is immigration. He's not enforcing that, and the second one is voter fraud. They're not enforcing that. That's the federal law as it is on the books right now. Okay? Pretty strong. We're not doing it.
So by that account, the mayor of San Francisco, chief of police of San Francisco, Chicago, and all.
Yes,
the legislation-
absolutely. They need to be in jail. Lock them up along with Hillary, okay? All right, next slide. Acorn for illegal aliens meet the Southwest Key program. We talked about that. Are you curious who's been facilitating the transport of illegal aliens? Well, it's Southwest Key, so we've been through that one. Next. This is where Southwest Keys program has been sending the folks. We've already got these areas right here. Look at Texas. The red is where they're sending them, where the future is, where they're sending them. The yellow is where they've been, and the blue is where they've been kicked out. That's up until about a year ago. This slide is almost a year old. The red's where they're going. The yellow is where they have been, or are at now, and the blue is where they've been kicked out.
Kicked out by who?
Kicked out by the communities. Yeah, communities like Corsicana. I'll get that in a minute. You can kick them out if you're strong enough. You got a city council, you got the county commissioners and so forth. You can kick them out. Okay, because you don't have to let them. You don't have to fund this. Next slide. Rick Perry, open borders. Why was back in Rick Perry's administration, we all thought when he was running for president, oh man, he was going to be strong for border enforcement. This is what Rick Perry did. This is fact. This is not just talking about things. This is fact. He gave free tuition to illegals. Perry killed the sanctuary cities legislation. The NAFTA highway, that was straight down from Mexico all the way through. Open borders money, he took tons of open borders money from Perry Homes, Weekly Homes, and H-E-B Groceries. H-E-B Groceries is one of the greatest funders of the open borders. They have as many grocery stores in Mexico as they do here.
The owner's,
Huh?
the owner's a liberal.
Yes, oh yes. So, open borders money and the lobbies for open borders is absolutely phenomenal. Just a total, just tons of money that comes in to support this. Because the money is more important than the problem. Okay? Next slide. This was Perry's achievement. You remember the NAFTA highway? They called it Perry's Cherry. The only thing that killed this thing was eminent domain. Now I'm worried. I heard that. What was it that Perry was appointed to or going to be appointed
Energy.
to? Huh?
Energy.
Energy. And this right here could come back into play again. Y'all heard of the high-speed rail and all that stuff? There's, I don't know. I'd like to trust Rick Perry, but I don't. I'm sorry. Next slide. Now, y'all remember the surge? Remember that on the news? The surge where all the illegals were coming in and so forth down in so Perry sent the National Guard, the game warden, the local police. He sent them all down to an area 90 miles long from the tip of Texas, 90 miles up the Rio Grande River. And that's where they stayed. And guess what? All of our law enforcement went down there 90 miles at the tip of Texas, and the drug cartels and the illegals were coming across in Laredo in droves. Then nobody was watching that. We got 1,200 miles of border in Texas, and they're down at 90 miles is all they're watching. Doesn't make a lot of sense. And the rules of engagement, Perry was in charge as the governor of Texas. The rules of engagement was no engagement. He told General Nichols this. No, stand down, let them alone. Perry told him that. That's a fact. You can look it up. Now, let me ask you this. This was back when Perry was running for president. What if Perry would have got up in front of a crowd of people in San Angelo or down on the border somewhere, anywhere, and draw the news and call a press conference and draw all the news media in and stood up there in front of the people on the border or somewhere and said, President Obama, as the chief executive officer of the state of Texas, I'm hereby stopping these illegals from coming into this country. I'm going to turn them around and I'm going to send them back. And if you don't like it, come and arrest me. What would his poll numbers would have done? Then it went through the roof.
Skyrocket.
He didn't do that. Didn't do that, did he? Next slide. This is what they were doing. This is what they were doing. This is what our law enforcement, the border enforcement, the game wardens, the highway patrol, this is what they were doing right here. Taking care of the babies. In the heat down there, and the mosquitoes, and everything else, that's what they were doing. Next slide. Now, they were giving, the illegals coming over are always given key words. Key words. And one of the key words that they were using, it doesn't make any difference if they were 15 years old or if they were 30 years old. Tell them when you get on the other side of the border to tell them you're 15 years old. And this DPS officer captured this statement from this guy right here, I guess it was. So I'm 15 years old, I'm going to school with your daughter whether you like it or not. This was actually a picture taken down there. Okay, next slide. We need leaders, don't we?
Amen.
I hope we've got a leader now. I mean, my goodness, we have got to turn this thing around. Next slide. How many of you remember Andrew Temerisi? You know who that is? Yeah. Remember that was the Marine. Well, this leader right here, this right here, this young lady, what is Maria Espinosa? I almost lost her name. Maria Espinosa is an activist in Texas. She ran for Congress over in the Houston area. But back when they had Andrew Temerisi in Mexico, she drove her pickup, her and her husband drove her pickup to the International Bridge in Brownville, Texas, turned it sideways, got out, and stopped traffic going from Mexico to here. Stopped it. Turned her truck sideways. She was surrounded by our Border Patrol and their Mexican Border Patrol, with machine guns and so forth, and they told her, ma'am, if you don't get this pickup straightened up, we're going to arrest you, put you in jail. She said, do it. She held her arms up and said, do it. Now here, put them on me. And my husband's taking pictures while you're doing this. Go ahead, put me in jail. Said, I am not moving that truck till I get word that y'all going to release that Marine. She did that. So sometimes it takes a spine from people just like you and me to get down there and do something. They turned her loose. They said, no, we don't want that on TV. So they turned her loose. Next slide. Sanctuary for killers, illegal immigrants deported 5 times for killing Catherine Stanley. Maria Espinosa is the one that introduced Donald Trump to the moms and the fathers about the kids and people that had been killed by illegal aliens from all over the nation. And it got word out, and he, in fact, the other night I saw him, she has a program called the Remembrance Project, and she was on, Donald Trump mentioned that on one of his victory tours the other night. So we got, these sanctuary cities has got to go. Next slide. Now, letting you know now that sanctuary cities doesn't have to be in Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, the big cities. We know that they are. But they're coming to places like San Angelo. They've already tried to get them into Corsicana, which is a comparable size to your city. And the citizens in that city stood up and stopped them. Okay? Next slide. What's going on in Navarre County? That's exactly what it was. There's tax letters from Byron Cook, a state representative, who was one of Joe Strauss's first lieutenants. And he was trying to get to Navarre County and Corsicana to be a sanctuary city. And he brought it, and the residents of the city of Corsicana and the county of Navarre County stood up and said, no, we are not letting them here, we're not going to do it. You're not bringing them here. And they in fact, and so it was so much pressure brought to bear on the city council and the county commissioners that they turned them around and said they voted no to this. Next slide. Same thing, this is the same story about that. They got Senator Birdwell involved and others, and they turned this around and stopped it. That's what we have to do. Next slide. Now, will Abbott cut sanctuary cities? There are over 300 sanctuary cities protecting criminal and illegal all over the nation. And there they are, right there. And look, there's Dallas, San Antonio, and I think Houston's a sanctuary city too.
Yes.
But anyway, we've got to stop these things. We've got to stop them now. Next slide. What was the cost last year? Illegal migrants sent $56 billion in pure cash to their home countries last year and every year before. That's after their kids enjoyed free education, free lunch, free medical care, all paid for by you. That's an not astronomical number, but you know they send it home. They're not paying the taxes that you and I pay. Most of them are not property owners, and there's just so many things, our infrastructure, everything that's involved in this thing is who's going to pay for it? You and me. Next slide. Objective, what can we do? We've got to identify a constitutional authority that rests with the state of Texas. I want to tell you, the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the state legislature can stop this. They could have stopped it 5 years ago. They have the authority to stop it. Move to the next slide. Let me show you. First of all, we've got to eliminate the magnets, health care, food stamps, free tuition, free housing, all that lure of amnesty. We've got to stop that. Next slide. Article 1, Section 10 says that we can stop it. We have the constitutional authority to stop it. And it says right here, it tells it right here, and when it goes right there, it says, no state shall, without consent of Congress, lay tonnage, blah, blah, blah. This isn't the Constitution. Agree of compact with another state or foreign power or engage in a war unless actually invaded in such imminent danger as will not admit of delay. Have we been invaded?
Yes.
Huh? Yes. Yeah. This is not a humanitarian thing. They're not coming over here to pick peaches. They're coming over here to get on our system. Come on. Next slide. The governor, through executive action under the powers granted by his office and the Constitution, can declare that the state is under invasion or in imminent danger, thereby invoking Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3 of the United States Constitution. Didn't do it, did they? The legislature could do it. Didn't do it, did they? The AG, Attorney General, can do it. I said the Lieutenant Governor. The Lieutenant Governor can't do it, but the AG can. He hadn't done it. But we could, but they won't. Why? All you got to do is go back to what I said a while ago about the lobbies, the construction lobbies, the restaurant lobbies, the HEB, all that money is coming in. And you ask your congressman or your state representative if they're taking any money from HEB or any of these other places, construction. Oh yeah, yeah. Everybody else does it, so I am too. That's what they'll tell you. Next slide. Okay, now what it means is Article 1, Section 10, Texas will interpose itself between the federal government and its own citizens for the safety and general welfare protection. The state of Texas will thereby assume the lawful position of enforcing already existing laws. Did I read the law to you a while ago? Huh? Remember? Already, in order to prevent endangerment to her citizens and legal residents. Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution. Next slide. Now, I asked Bob Hall about the border compact. There's a way that we can stop this by going through a border compact. We hope that we don't have to do this because the new administration is committed, I'm hoping. I mean, that's what I'm hearing from everybody. That's what I'm hearing on TV from Trump. We're going to build a wall. We're going to do these things to stop these illegals from coming in here. We're not opposed to immigration, folks. Just do it the right legal way. And let's vet who's coming into here, and let's make sure they're free of disease. Let's make sure they don't have criminal records. Let's make sure that they're not coming over here to endanger our lives. Let's make sure that it's not ISIS. Huh? Come on. I asked Bob Hall, do we continue the border compact? He said, absolutely yes. We cannot let it go. We have got to keep our guard up. In 4 years, we may have, who knows? Joe Biden might run. Who knows? So, who knows what's going to happen? We've got to find out if Trump has got the feet to stay on the ground. We need to know that. Next slide. And this is talking about the border compact. What happens if Trump is not reelected? The current Republican-controlled Congress can go around the lawless president, allowing participating states to enforce federal immigration laws. You can actually go around the president if you do a border compact it takes 2 or more states to do that. And Bob Hall is already working with Arizona, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Louisiana to do this. So we can't let our guard down is what I'm trying to tell you. Next slide. What happens if we don't secure the border? Governor Perry, at that time I did that cartoon, Governor Perry, which way to the Houston Ship Channel? All it takes is one big firecracker in the Houston Ship Channel, and not only Texas refineries and our oil is shut down, America is shut down. Next slide. 10 ISIS fighters have been caught trying to cross the Mexican border. What are they going to do here? What are they going to do? Okay? Next slide. Texas is not immune to terrorism. Look at these camps. It's all over this, all of this have been identified all over the United States. These are terrorist Muslim camps that we know are there. And why? The one right down here, down just south of Houston. We've been watching. I had a meeting with Governor Abbott. I asked him about that. All there. Don't worry about it. We're watching. Okay. We're watching. Next slide. Now, there are no more refineries in America, and Obama has refused to allow construction of any new refineries. We hope that Trump allows to expand that, especially with oil and with a new oil find in Texas and so forth that we've got now, that we've got optimism everywhere. But one big firecracker in that Houston Ship Channel placed in the right place shuts down America. We cannot allow that. We've got to know who's coming across our border. I can't emphasize that enough. That's what you've got to ask Conaway. That's what you've got to ask any of your representatives. Who's coming across? Do you know? Can you tell me? You watch their face and you watch their answer when they try that. Okay? Next slide. The new mission, keep illegals from crossing occurring. Doing anything short of preventing illegals from setting one foot in Texas soil will not stop the invasion, nor will it reduce the state of imminent danger. We've got to stop it. Next slide. Ebola infection, ISIS, human trafficking, drug cartel, sex slavery. It's only a matter of time before tragedy it happens here. We've already had 911. What else are we going to have? It hadn't, believe me, what did Obama say the other day? Oh, no, none of that stuff's happened here while I've been president. No, Fort Hood, I mean, we can just go down the list. Next slide. Remember this. The current definition of politics, the art of manipulating the masses to achieve a goal through the use of an emotional issue. They're going to use that every time. Next one. Next slide. Obama will bring 10,000 Syrians to America. This is going on right now all over the United States. And where is he depositing those Syrians? Have y'all noticed this? You know where he's putting them?
In the red states.
In the red states, in conservative areas. They're loading up Louis Gohmert up there, sending Syrians up there in his district. Yeah. And you know, Trey Gowdy, all over the United States, that's where they put them. It's amazing. They've got a plan and they're carrying it out. I hope Trump stops it. Next. Yeah, next slide. Now, think about this. If we don't stop it, and ISIS comes to San Angelo, and they drive a van to an elementary school, and when the kids are getting out of school or going to school, and they jump out and they grab a couple of little kids and put them in that van and take off and do a YouTube? Huh? Do I have to draw you a picture? Think about that. What are they looking for now? It's already on the wire. They put it out everywhere. We're going to go after soft targets. Soft targets. This could happen anywhere in the United States. These little kids walk up and down the streets every day. Yeah, I'm using an emotional issue too, but mine could be factual. This could happen because we got to know who's coming. Next slide. Now listen to this one. How many of you ever heard of First Monday in Canton, Texas? Huh? Yeah. First Monday is big deal. We're in trade days. They go in and they trade. Thousands of people go to that. Thousands of people. Standing right up front at the gate at First Monday, the biggest human trafficking organization in East Texas. Got little 12, 13, 14-year-old girls. And all you got to go up there and say, I'm here and I'm looking for the dreamers. And in a few minutes they say, well, just wait right here, we'll get you one. anytime you have vendors come in from all over the state or other places, and they come to San Angelo, they go to Eastland or anywhere, Abilene, then they bring their their wares and things to sell, and they also bring their little trailers and everything. There's prostitution going on. It's going on all over the state and all over the nation. Okay? So that's part of it. Do you think that the drug cartels and these other institutions, organized crime and so forth, and they're not using these illegals? They're using them. We've got facts to prove it. Okay, next slide. Be aware of that. Okay, what will your Texas leaders do? Can you give me an example of a Republican who did not run on the issue of border security? Every one of them run on border security, don't they? Oh, we're going to seal that border. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Well, what, have they done that? No. It says here, all Republicans ran on this issue, yet House leadership tried to kill all of our border security amendments. Except voter ID. They throw us a bone every once in a while. They just throw us a bone. Joe Strauss always gives conservatives one bone during the session. Next slide. Now this was a meeting that I had with Senator Hall and Governor Abbott. This right here is the State Sheriff's Association, Andy Lauterbach. He's the chair of the State Sheriff's Association. And we had some grassroots leaders in there. There's Bob Hall in the front. I'm sitting behind him. Larry Corpus right on down the line. These are people that I know. Maria Espinosa's right here, on the right with the lady with the hair on the right. We was all there. And we talked about border security. And I had that video that I showed you a while ago from where the TX truck stop in Rockwall. And when the meeting was over, I said, Governor Abbott, I want you to take this video and look at it. Will you please get back with me and put somebody on there to investigate this? This is going on every day. 4 to 10 buses come in that TA truck stop in Rockwall, Texas. Will you look into this? Oh, yes, Ray. I'm going to do something about that. I'm going to look into this. That's 2 years ago. I hadn't heard from him. I asked two things of the governor. I want you to do something about this immigration thing. And number two, Governor Abbott, we want you to take the reins of Texas and be the leader. We want you to help run Texas. We're sick and tired of House leadership running Texas. Will you run? Will you stand up for Texas and will you take the reins? Oh yes, sir, I will. Joe Strauss is still running Texas. Next slide. There he is. This is what the speaker really feels. He's got his little peanut gallery behind him here. Open Borders Care, House Democrats, Republicans. You know, this is how the speaker really feels about us. He's kicking the guy with the flag, the Bible, the lady with the Bible, and the Constitution out. And these guys behind me are who he's promoting. Next slide. You wonder why we can't get Joe Strauss and people like that out of the House. It's, you know, where we need to drain the Texas swamp. Huh? Okay. This is why right here. In Texas, there's 150 state reps. 52 of them right now are Democrats. I believe it's 52 or 51 now. We have 98 so-called GOP state reps. 98 state reps that say they're Republican. Of the state reps that call themselves Republicans, we know for a fact that 60 of them are actually hardcore Democrats. Why do we know that? Because of the way they vote. They vote that way. All you got to do is watch their record. The only time they're a conservative is when they're running for office. Okay? 60, we got 19 mushy in the middle that actually that are, you know, kind of moderate. And then we have 19 R's that are real conservatives. That's all we can trust in is only the only 19. There's only 19 of them. Maybe 20 now. I think we got one more that we can really trust. Okay? Now, see the problem? 79 of the rhinos are in the House. It only takes 75 to elect Joe Strauss. 79 and 52, that's the number of votes that Joe Strauss has. It only takes 75 to win. Now, let me tell you this. Joe Strauss, we have found his family has been in the gambling business for over 85 years. That's what they do. They do gambling. And that's what he does in his other life. They own racetracks, Rotima Downs, all these racetracks all over Texas. That's what they do. And we know, I mean, I can't walk out there and put my finger on this for a fact and show you the money, but Joe Strauss has got connections in Las Vegas and in New Jersey. And what he does with the money, when he gets money, you know, from different donors and lobbies, he goes into his district 121 and he goes to the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts and the Kiwanis Club and the Lions Club and the Women's Organization and the Flower Club and gives them money. Churches, goes to the churches, gives them money. He goes down and he solidifies his foundation in District 121 down there with money. And he doesn't have a problem getting money. Okay? That's how he stays in office. Next slide. Back in April, they had a meeting with Strauss and all of his friends at the Austin Club in Austin, Texas. And these people were there. I don't know whether you know, Senator Nichols was there, Corinne Ashby was there, Jimmy Don Aycock, Travis Clardy, Byron Cook, Dan Flynn, Chris Patty, Larry Phillips, Gary Van Dever, Lance Gooden. Do y'all know any of those guys at all? Well, anyway, this is part of the Strauss team. And they met for two reasons. Number one, they wanted to kick out the lady that was running for school board. Number two, they wanted to kill the Tea Party. That was their mission. That's their mission in this next session, is to kill the Tea Party all across the state of Texas. Next slide. Now, is anybody here with Mike Conaway? Right here? Yes, ma'am. I want you to know, I want you to watch this. Our congressman is in House District 5. I don't know what y'all's number.
11.
11. Our congressman is in House District 5. We called in our congressman when he voted for John Boehner, and we grilled him, and we said, why did you vote for John Boehner? He said, oh, Ray, I made a commitment to John Boehner. Okay. Then we grilled him when he voted for Paul Ryan. We said, we wanted Louis Gohmert. Why did your constituents? How many calls, Jeb, did you get from a constituent voting Paul Ryan? 0. How many did you get wanting Louis Gohmert? Thousands. Why didn't you vote the way your constituents asked you to? Well, I made a commitment. You made a commitment to the Republican leadership, but you're not making a commitment to your constituents. Is that correct? Okay. Did Conaway vote for Boehner?
Yes.
Did he vote for Ryan?
Yes.
Okay, now, let's go a step further. Let's go a step further. Did he vote for the 2015 omnibus package?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
How does that relate to the border? Well, let's look. If he voted for the omnibus package, number one, Henschling, and let's just replace him with Conaway, voted for the omnibus package that fully funds DACA. It funds all the dreamers. It funded all the dreamers. Number two, it voted to fund all the sanctuary cities. Okay? Number three, it voted for all refugee programs. It funded all of that. Number four, it funded all the Middle East immigration programs that have been exploited by terrorists in recent years. Okay? Number five, it voted to fully fund illegal alien resettlement. Next slide. Number six, it voted to release all of the criminal illegal aliens. Funds to the release of criminal illegal aliens, and they were supposed to send them back. But they didn't go back, did they? Number seven, it voted for the omnibus quadruples, the H-2B Foreign Visa Workers Acts. Visa workers. It funds tax credit for illegals. It locks in huge spending increases, and it also, the omnibus package allocates funds to complete the double layer border that was down there. That was the only thing that it did that was to help at all. But in addition, the omnibus package fully funded Obamacare, Planned Parenthood, and partial Common Core. He voted for every bit of that. Huh? That's a fact. Do I want my congressman to vote that way? Not no, but heck no. I don't. We got to talk to these people. We got to put them in on the carpet. It's time for us to stand up and say, this is it, guys. How can you vote this way and then come back and tell me you're a conservative?
Amen.
Huh? How can you do that? Next slide. John Boehner, Paul Ryan, 2015 omnibus package. Now this is what we're doing right now. If they voted for Boehner, if they voted for Ryan, if they voted for the omnibus package, now the jury's still out on the 21st Century Cures Act. But what we're finding out about the 21st Century Cures Act, which was just voted on, we're thinking that what it does, it secures Obama's legacy on Obamacare. That's what we're thinking. Now, it doesn't have to be true, but it looks that way. Obama's happy as he can be. He's smiling from ear to ear. And they all voted for that. Huh? And that has to do with Obamacare, huh?
It did too, and he's a smart man, there's something there.
There's something there. And he voted no, not to impeach the IRS director who came after every Tea Party unit in the country, in a way he did. I mean, that vote was what, 10 days ago? He voted for not impeach. Man, the congressman over in East Texas, Louis Gomer, and they said, oh, you gotta do this. No, we don't. We're not gonna do that because we don't want to hurt their feelings. Absolutely not. Next slide. We're getting close to the end. 98.9% of the people that cross the border get to stay. That's according to Breitbart. Right there. What do we got to do to make this work? We must elect religious, righteous candidates that will support the Constitution. We must elect candidates who will say no to amnesty. We must elect candidates who will actually support them, turn them around, send them back. We must educate ourselves, our Tea Parties, and our constituents. We must know what the enemy's agenda is. Therefore, what is Cloward-Tibbins? You got to know that. You got to know what that thing is about imploding our whole system. And Southwest Keys, the refugee settlement. Watch Ann Corsican's YouTube on resettlement. It'll blow your mind. You've got to know how the invasion impacts your schools, your community, your infrastructure, your traditional way of life, and security for your family. We must arm ourselves with information now. I brought I think I did, somewhere here, I gave it to Roy, a summary of this, and he's going to pass it out to you. If you need a copy, he will. And I've got one last slide. Next slide. Oh, no, this, look at this one. Of all the federal crimes in the United States that's been committed in the last year, the majority has been immigration. 52% in federal. Next slide. Now watch this last slide.
Preparing for this hearing is one of it. I'm telling you, it's hard to keep your cool in preparing for this meeting. And let me tell you the heart of why we're here today. Immigration Customs Enforcement. I have met with the men and women who work there. Wonderful, hard-working, dedicated people who do a hard and difficult job. But I gotta tell you, what's going on at Homeland Security, what's going on with Immigration Customs Enforcement is one of the most infuriating things convictions instead of deporting them. Of those 30,558 criminal aliens, 1,895 were charged with another crime following their release. Their convictions included sex offenses, assault, burglary, robbery, driving under the influence. And ICE told us that in 2015, the agency released 19,723 criminal aliens with a combined 64,197 convictions, including 934 sex offenses, 804 robberies, 216 kidnappings, and 196 homicide-related convictions. And that's on your watch. They were
Talking to Homeland
they were
Security.
here illegally, they got caught committing a crime, they were convicted of the crime, and instead of following the law and deporting them, you release them back out of the public and they commit more crimes. How do you look those people in the eye? How do you go back to a family and say, you know, they were in our detention and we just thought it would be better to let them out into the United States of America? That is so wholly unacceptable. I want to show you this football stadium. This is Notre Dame football stadium. You released more people that were convicted of crimes that should have been deported than you can fit into that stadium. You'd still have people waiting outside the line. Those are the criminals that you released instead of deporting. Now, one of the people that's very passionate about this issue, has spent a lot of time on that, is our colleague, Mr. DeSantis in Florida. I'd like to yield time to him.
Okay, that's it. Ma'am, thank you for inviting me. I hope that we've opened your eyes. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. I know I don't want to run late. Y'all got things to do. But again, thank you so much. And I'll hang around here for a few just to talk if you need to, okay? Thank you so much.